World War II didn't just start, it was allowed to happen. One leader kept pushing, other countries kept backing down, until suddenly, Europe was at war. Here's exactly how World War II began. To understand World War II, you have to start in 1919. That's when the Treaty of Versailles officially ended World War I and placed full blame on Germany. The consequences were severe. Germany lost around 13% of its territory and all of its overseas colonies. It had to pay reparations equivalent to billions today. Its army was capped at just 100,000 men, with no tanks, no air force, and no submarines. But damage wasn't just physical, it was psychological. Many Germans saw the treaty as unfair and humiliating. They even had a name for it, the Diktat, a dictated peace. Then, things got worse. In 1923, hyperinflation hit Germany so badly that people needed wheelbarrows of cash just to buy bread. And when the global economy collapsed during the Great Depression in 1929, millions more Germans lost their jobs. So by the early 1930s, Germany wasn't just weakened, it was desperate. And desperation creates opportunity, especially for extreme leaders. That's where Adolf Hitler comes in. Hitler rose to power in 1933, promising to undo the Treaty of Versailles, rebuild Germany's military, restore national pride. But his ideology went much further, based on extreme nationalism, racism, and the idea that Germany needed more living space, or Lebensraum. And he wasn't alone. In Italy, Benito Mussolini had already established a fascist dictatorship, aiming to rebuild a new Roman Empire. Meanwhile, in Japan, military leaders invaded Manchuria in 1931 and later launched a full-scale war against China in 1937. What all these regimes had in common: they rejected democracy, they believed in military strength, and they saw expansion as necessary. The world was becoming more unstable and more dangerous. Now, here's where things could have gone differently. Hitler didn't immediately start a world war. He tested the limits, step by step. In 1936, he sent troops into the Rhineland, a direct violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Germany's army was still weak at this point. If France had responded militarily, historians believe Hitler may have backed down. But they didn't. Next, in 1938, Germany annexed Austria in what's known as the Anschluss. Again, no serious resistance. Then came Czechoslovakia. Hitler demanded the Sudetenland, a region with many ethnic Germans. Britain and France met with him at the Munich Agreement. Their decision? Give Hitler the land, in exchange for a promise of no further expansion. British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain famously called it peace for our time. But within months, Hitler took the rest of Czechoslovakia anyway. Appeasement had failed. And now it was clear Hitler wasn't going to stop. Then came the moment that triggered everything. September 1st, 1939. Germany launched the invasion of Poland. But this wasn't just another territorial grab. It was a new kind of warfare. Blitzkrieg, meaning lightning war, combined. Fast-moving tanks, airstrikes, coordinated infantry. Poland's defenses were overwhelmed in weeks. But there's another key detail most people miss. Just days earlier, Germany had signed a secret pact with the Soviet Union, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, agreeing to divide Poland between them. So Poland was attacked from both sides. At this point, there was no ambiguity left. On September 3, 1939, the United Kingdom and France declared war on Germany. After years of hesitation, they finally acted. This is the moment historians mark as the official beginning of World War II. But by now, the situation had already spiraled beyond control. And here's the part that really makes you think. World War II wasn't caused by one event. It was caused by a chain reaction. A harsh treaty, economic collapse, the rise of extremist leaders, and repeated chances to stop things, that were missed. By the time the world drew the line, it was already too late. So the real question isn't just how World War II started, it's why it wasn't stopped. If you found this helpful and interesting, subscribe for more videos that break down history in a way that actually makes sense.